What is up, YouTube? Doomwake here. Welcome back to another modern video on the channel. As always, before we continue, if you enjoy the content, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. Y'all have been doing a very awesome job at smashing the subscribe button. Speaking of which, we just hit 2K subscribers last night. I remember just last week we were a little under 1K, and a week later we're already at 2K. So thank you again for all the support. Really, really appreciate it. Today, I am bringing something to you that is very, very special. So, we played this deck on the live Twitch stream last night, but which, by the way, I will drop a link in the description below if you want to go ahead and check out the Twitch stream. Sort of a new take on the URZA or the ASMO food decks that I've been working on today with some busted blue cards instead of going with the traditional black-green or Jund or something that you've seen ASMO with before. So, the shell of the deck is the same ASMO plus Cookbook stuff that we've been seeing for a while now. ASMO is the card that doesn't have a mana cost, but it's a 1-minute, it's a 3/3. As long as you've discarded a card, you can pay a red or a black to play it. When it comes into play, you search for a Cookbook, put it into your hand, and then you sack 2 food to have a creature deal 6 damage to itself. So we need ways to turn it on, that being Street Wraith. Cycle it for free. You can play ASMO on turn 1. The Cookbook itself also enables ASMO because you can play the Cookbook, tap, discard a card, then you fulfill the requirement for ASMO, and then Saga, which goes and finds the Cookbook, which can then help you cast ASMO. So we essentially have 11 enablers for it, which is, I think, a little bit lower than some of the other ASMO lists that I've played, but we're kind of focused a little bit less on that and more on, there's some other stuff that we're working with here. And then also Cookbook in combination with Oval Chase Daredevil, as you've seen before. When you tap the Cookbook, discard the Daredevil. Daredevil's in the graveyard, you get a food back, which immediately brings back the Daredevil to your hand. So it turns Cookbook into just tap, make a food. The discarded card is no longer part of a cost when you have Daredevil in your hand. So we're making a bunch of food, which we can use with ASMO, but we can also use food in other ways. So we have 4 copies of Thought Monitor, which is a card that I've been very, very impressed with over the past couple of days, playing it in Affinity, playing it in this deck. I even played it in Legacy a little bit. The card's just been awesome. 1 mana for a 2/2 flyer that draws 2 cards is, if you can fulfill the requirements, which you need 6 artifacts to turn this on for 1 mana, if you can fulfill that consistently, this card is pretty busted. So we have a bunch of cheap artifacts, again, Mox Amber, Bauble, the aforementioned Cookbook, and then URZA Saga, which makes 2 artifacts. So we just have a lot of ways to generate cheap artifacts and put artifacts into play to make this frequently cost 1 mana. And then we also have Emry, which is good in combination again with cheap artifacts because cost mana less. So it's good with Bauble, really good with Mox Amber specifically because Mox Amber makes it cost less. And then this is a legendary to fulfill the Mox to turn on Mox Amber. So we got that. And then we also have URZA, which is another artifact payoff. Comes into play, make a construct, tap an artifact, add a blue mana. So if you have a bunch of food lying around, you can generate a ton of mana with URZA, which to activate its 3rd ability, which is 5 shuffle, exile the top card. So you just get to basically spin for a card, and you can play that without paying its mana cost. So URZA, just another good payoff for having a bunch of cheap artifacts. And the construct gets bigger, you have a ton of mana, really good card. And then, again, with the Mox Ambrose, we need a little bit more legends, so we're going to play Ragavan, which is legend from the new set. Another card that creates more cheap artifacts, which is good with URZA and Emry and Thought Monitor. And then also just another legend for Mox Amber. So it just seems to make a lot of sense in this deck because a lot of the ASMO decks I've been playing have been like Black-Green and Jund, but this is also a red card, so you can pair it with blue, by just casting red, by just paying red for it. You don't need to play black mana. And red also, again, allows you to play Ragavan, and then Galvanic Blast is the removal spell of choice over something like Lightning Bolt because we frequently will have Metalcraft, so it's almost always going to be better. And then we're rounding out the deck with Baubles to go with our Emrys, and then we have 1 Pirate Spellbomb, 1 Aether Spellbomb as our URZA Saga package. The reason we're choosing to go with the spell bombs as opposed to like a main deck Needle or a main deck Shadow Spear is because game 1 the spell bombs are higher upside with Emry because you can recast them and loop them. So I'm choosing to go with the spell bombs, and then we have the Needle and the Shadow Spear in the sideboard. That could potentially be swapped around in the future, but we're going to go ahead and try this for now. Mana base, and then obviously we have URZA Saga, which is a frequent mainstay of these decks. Y'all know by now what URZA Saga does. Just a ridiculously powerful card. It's a land that is essentially worth 4 cards. It's just like it's just I don't need to speak more on Urza Saga and why this card is so good. But yeah, that's our mana base. 4 sagas, bunch of fetches. Fetches good with bauble. So yeah, nothing stand out in the mana base there. And that is the main deck. One thing I will say, just like a cool, cute interaction that came up last night. Emry, right? So Emry allows you, it comes into play, you mill 4 cards, then you can choose an artifact in your graveyard, you can cast that card this turn. There's no mana restriction, there's no, like, cast, you can only cast, like, extra less or stuff like that. There's no restrictions on Emry. So what you can do is, obviously, if you mill over Thought Monitor, it's pretty good, because you can cast Thought Monitor from your graveyard. And if you have a bunch of extra food lying around, if you have ASMO and Emry in play, you can actually, what I did last night is you can kill your own Thought Monitor with 2 food, and then bring it back with Emry. So that's kind of a cute thing that may or may not come up in the video. Just making sure that there's nothing else that I want to go over. Everything looks pretty good here. And then the sideboard, we got Aether Gust for Primeval Titan, Dex, and Prowess. And I guess Ponza as well, if people start playing Ponza. Hercule's Recall for the other Urza Saga decks. I've been really impressed with Recall specifically. It's really good after an Urza Saga because you get to pick up all their constructs, and it's also obviously good, against Affinity. And there's some other small applications that it might come up in. Metallic Rebuke for the control decks, and just whenever you want a generic counterspell. Gear Up our Aether Grid, really good against the artifact hate like Stony Silence and what's the other one? Collector Oof. And also specifically good against Karn, because if you have some artifacts laying around, you can just kill the Karn with the grid and then go about your business again. And then we have 1 additional Galvanic Blast for when we need another removal spell, like against Prowess and Burn and stuff like that. And then we just got our 1-ups to go search for with Urza Saga, the ones that we couldn't fit in the main deck, the Shadow Spear and the Pithing Needle. Shadow Spear good when you need to get through some blockers with Trample, or when you need a nice little life buffer. Pithing Needle, just a really versatile card, comes in a good amount of matchups, but again, I couldn't find room for the main deck because I wanted to go with the Spell Bombs to go with Emry. And then we have our Graveyard Hate, Soul Guide, Tormod Script. I'm choosing to split these because of opposing Pithing Needles, just in case that might come up. You never know. The difference is pretty marginal, so. And is there anything else I wanted to go over in the main deck? I think that is it. So, without further ado, I won't keep you waiting. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 1. All right, everybody, we're back here for round number one, of our league with Urza ASMO. What do we have? We have an Urza Saga, some lands, a redraw, and a cookbook. No, like, actual threats outside of Urza Saga, but I think this hand is pretty good. We can do the bobble trick where we bobble ourselves if the card is bad, shuffle, if not, keep it. And, yeah, I don't know. This hand's just got some material. It's got a turn 2 Urza Saga, which is always good. May or may not be good enough on the draw, but we shall see. This hand, I think, has enough upside, and it's got a redraw with bobble, so that's why I'm keeping. Leyline of Sanctity. So this looks like maybe Enchantress. Alright, let's bobble ourselves. There's another bobble on top. I guess that's kind of a redraw next turn. Not really, because I'm just going to end up playing Saga next turn, but maybe the turn after it's a redraw. Yeah. I mean, I could just cycle it right away, but I'd rather probably hold it for the fetch land, so I can do the same bobble trick. Alright, they're down to 2 cards. I'm not going to activate Cookbook yet. Alright, let's play Bobble. Let's play Saga. I'll just play out all the Cookbooks. We'll pass. Daredevil would be kind of nice. We can start generating a ton of food. Maybe I should cycle Bobble just looking for Daredevil. I could see that. It doesn't sound horrible. Okay, now I don't know what's happening. So, not Enchantress. Blue, green, red. Shardless Agent. Alright, what are they cascading into? Rhinos, probably? Oh, the Warp Worlds. So, spin the wheel, I guess? They hit a 3-2 and some Grizzly Bears. Alright, I think we can beat a 3-2 and some Grizzly Bears. That is hysterical. They got a pretty wide board, I will say that. Alright, I'm going to cycle the bauble now, just looking for Daredevil. I'm not going to make any food, because I kind of want to keep all my mana in case I find Urza. They have a Violent Outburst on top, so if they have 2 more lands, they can go again. Okay. So, now that we drew ASMO, I can go discard Flooded Strand. Play ASMO. Get a book. And now the Amber taps for red. So now I have this, which I can make a construct this way. So I can make a construct and make a food. But I want to play... I want to hold a construct instead of playing Thought Monitor here. I believe that is worth it. Also leave myself the opportunity to potentially kill something with ASMO. They're just gonna shove. Alright, well I guess I'll eat 2 of their things for free. Take 5 and not really care too much about that. I wonder if they forgot about the construct. Or I guess they're just okay with trading 2 of these for 2 damage? I don't know about that. I'm gonna hang on to the 4th cookbook for now. Alright, so let's go tap these 2, make a construct, leave this up so I can still play Thought Monitor. Let's get... probably just Aether Spellbomb. So I can potentially bounce the Monitor. I really just want to find Daredevil. Did not find Daredevil. Can play another Thought Monitor, though. Potentially find Daredevil now. There we go. There we go. Are they dead? Nah, because we have to sack 2 food to kill the plant. They weren't dead, but... pretty good spot from there. Alright, so counterspell against Warp World. Same with Aether Gusts. Hercules, Grid, no. Galvanic Blast seems kind of bad. Graveyard Hate, no. Needle, no. So I have to cut 4 more cards. This is a matchup where I do think a fast ASMO is important, so I'm not going to cut Street Wraith where I normally would. Pyrite Spellbomb does not seem necessary. I could trim on Ragavan. They have a lot of blockers, don't they? I mean, I guess not really, but I just don't really think that Ragavan is what the matchup is about. It's more about just, like, drawing one of these cards and making sure they don't resolve Warp Worlds. I think I'm going to cut an Emry, too. It's kind of slow. I'll try this. Just have max interaction to make sure they don't resolve Warp Worlds. Because that's, like, the only card that matters, I think. This hand does not have a interaction spell for Warp World. However, we have 2 redraws and a turn 1 ASMO. So I think this hand's still good enough. Also worth noting, if you have enough food generation, which takes you a while to get up there, but you can kill Emrakul with ASMO if you have 6 food in play. Alright. Colney Garden. Let's see what we draw. Drew a Thought Monitor. So let's cycle Street Wraith. That was a good draw. Let's play ASMO. Go ahead and get our book. Play a Bauble. And I think... yeah, I'm not going to sack the Bauble so I can hold up Rebuke on turn 3. Let's cycle another Street Wraith. Cast a Bauble. Play a Saga. Play a Book. And now I can cycle one of the Baubles. Still hold up Rebuke. Okay, they're gonna fetch. Hopefully they have Shardless. I guess it doesn't matter if they have Outburst, right? Just gonna counter it either way. Alright, Shardless goes in the stack. They cast their Cascade spell. I rebuke it. Could have made a food first, but I didn't really want to. Alright. See if we can bauble to find another interactive spell. Omniscience on top, huh? Okay. Spire Bluff Canal, Ragavan. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a food. It's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Land for turn plus make a food is 6, so I still can't play Thought Monitor. Just play Spire Bluff and pass? I might as well attack, but... I may want to cycle the Bauble now to try and find an interactive spell. Yeah, I'm going to cycle it now. Another Thought Monitor is not great for me. Yeah, Thought Monitors for days. They're just going to main phase it? They probably should have waited till at least end step when I go to make a token, right? I guess they're main phasing it because of Omniscience. So if they hit Omniscience, they can cast a spell. And well, let's see if they do their thing. They have Iona. So they can Foundation Breaker to blow up the Cookbook. And I assume they name Red, but we can... Well, actually, if they don't blow up the Saga, we can just get Aether Spellbomb. So they kind of have to blow up the Saga here. They don't necessarily know we have Aether Spellbomb, but... They are choosing to blow up the Saga. That's fine, we'll just make a token. I think I'll discard one of these Thought Monitors because I have 1,000 of them, and I also can't play them with the Iona in play. Alright, we gotta play another Saga here. And... is there any reason not to play Ragavan? No, because I'm just going to end up discarding the Thought Monitors to the book anyways. I'm not that close to killing Iona with Ragavan, or with ASMO, but... Alright, so they put a counter on As Foretold. They attack us for 10. Not sure why they didn't attack with Wave Sifter. That's good for me. They definitely should have attacked with Wave Sifter. Now I actually might have an out. Alright, I will discard a Thought Monitor, and I think I have to sacrifice a food here to go to 10. Because the next turn, if they actually do attack with both, like they probably should be. Alright, blame their Saga. And I guess I'll attack with Ragavan, force the trade. I attack with Constructs. There's no way they double block Constructs, right? Oh, I guess they didn't attack with Wave Sifter so that if I killed the Breaker, they wouldn't get hit with Ragavan. Yeah, I guess that kind of makes sense. So they probably just trade Breaker for Ragavan, take this. In that case, I will discard Scalding Tarn to make this a 4/4. Trade is fine. They go to 9. So I have two options here depending on what they do. I can either kill Wave Sifter if they attack with both. If they attack with just Iona, I don't have to do anything. I just take 7, go to 3, and then likely just kill them. Because I can just make a construct, untap, kill this. Yeah, aren't they just dead? I go to 3. 3 is fine. 3 is not 0. Pretty sure they're just dead. I think they maybe messed that up. Untap. It's a lot of sagaing. Make a token. Get Aether Spellbomb. Kill this. Alright. So I was going to kill the Wave Sifter and then bounce the Iona, but yeah, I don't know. I guess maybe they just shouldn't have attacked with Iona there. But yeah, that was a funny game. They did their thing. They put an Iona into play, and then we were able to defeat it. So, excuse me, that was kind of sweet, round number 1. So I hope you enjoyed the games. See you back in just a little bit for round number 2. Alrighty, YouTube, we are here for round number 2 with Urza ASMO. We're on the play. What do we got? We have turn 1 Cookbook, discard this. Turn 2, discard this, play ASMO, play Mox Hammer, play second Cookbook. Yeah, this hand seems nuts, so I'll keep. Alright, so let's go Flooded Strand, get Steam Vents, just in case we need blue and or red mana, if, like, somehow our Mox... maybe I should have played the Mox there, in case they have a discard spell. Yeah, I should have played Mox there. Yeah, that was potentially a mistake. Definitely a mistake. Might as well cycle this now. Because we already have... Okay, so let's go Mox. Play ASMO. Get a Cookbook. Play the Cookbook off the Mox. Play Cookbook. Make some food now. Alright, make some food. Play Tarn. Yes. Then even if they kill this, we have another one. They can't really play creatures until they at least kill the Asmos. Saga would be a sicko draw. Emry would be a good draw. Even Ragavan's a good draw. A lot of good draws. Grixis. Pentad Prism, huh? Okay. Wonder what Grixis with Pentad Prism means. Okay, Emry's not bad. Can do that. Emry first in case we hit another Daredevil. Just make some food now, no reason not to. And I'm going to hang on to the second ASMO. Just attack for 3. Then we have a Thought Monitor off the Emry next turn, which is kind of sick. Seems like they're probably playing some sort of combo deck with Pentad Prism. I don't think it's... Yeah, it's definitely not like Ad Naus or anything like that, because they have Basic Mountain and Fetch Shock Lands. Usually Ad Naus plays like Gemstone Mines and Fast Lands, not Fetch Lands, Shock Lands. I guess if I wanted to play around Breach Emrakul, I could have made another ASMO there to make another food. Alright, Emry's dead. They're choosing to loot. So let's see what they discard. I want to get more information. I don't really know what they're playing. Alright, they do have an Emrakul. Again, worth noting, ASMO can kill Emrakul. Shoot. As soon as I said that, yep. So if I had played second ASMO in Cookbook, I could have killed the Emrakul. Alright, so they Gorios the Emrakul. Shuffle that. We're not dead, because I can go to 17, take the Emrakul hit. So we are not dead. But I can only deal 12 to the Emrakul, because it's 6 for each 2 food, and I only have 5 food in play. So let's tap these 2, sack a food. Go to 17. Let the Emrakul trigger resolve. I'm going to sack all these extra food, because I'm going to have a bunch of food next turn. And then I'll sack a land and an amber. Keep the cookbooks. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'll go to 2. And then I'll keep the cookbooks to generate more food. We are going to lose to a second Emrakul hit, but... I guess this way I don't have a second mana to sack a food, so maybe I'm supposed to sack the second cookbook, so I can sack a food if they have a burn spell. Perhaps. Because now I'm just dead to like a Prismari command dealing 2 to me. Serum Visions. Okay. Profane Tutor. Alright. Wouldn't mind finding a land here, so I can start to sacrifice food. Let's deck first. So we cannot play around a second Emrakul, because the most I can do is go make a food, have 4 food in play, play second ASMO, play third book, make a 5th food, and I need 6 food to kill Emrakul. So there's actually no point in playing the ASMO here because I can't get up to 6 food. So I think I'm just going to pass. It's possible I was supposed to just sack a food for life on my turn, but if they go to cast a burn spell, I can just respond. Like, I just hold up my mana. Alright, they're choosing to pass. Yeah, I probably should have main phase sacked the food, since I wasn't going to be able to play around Emrakul anyways. Faithless Salvaging. Well, now that they have no... Oh, right, I mean, they could just discard Emrakul and have Gorios, but... yeah, that's fine. Hopefully they don't have Emrakul plus Gorios. They discarded Watery Grave. Okay. So, let's make a food. Now I have 4 food, so now I actually have Emrakul covered, unless I sack a food here. So they don't have access to red, which means they can't play a burn spell right now. So maybe I play Galvanic Blast? Because that puts them to 5, and then I have 5 damage here. So if Galvanic Blast resolves, then they just die? They could have a counter spell here, but... Alright, put them to 5, put them to 3, and again, they don't have red, so they can't cast a burn spell. Wow, we survived an Emrakul hits. Yeah, that was a wild game. Jeez. Alright, so game 2 against Goryo's Emrakul. Definitely want counterspell. They may have Breach, so Gust could be an attractive option. Galvanic Blast, I think, is pretty bad. The Tormod's Crypt and the Soul Guide, I think, are both good. Pirate Spellbomb is not good. Aether Spellbomb also stops the Emrakul hit, so I definitely will keep that. Let's see. To Cut 2 cards, potentially more if I want to bring in Gusts. I'm going to trim an Emry because it's kind of slow, and I think I'm just going to trim a Wraith. Yeah, let's do this. I like this setup. Well, I have a Tormod's Crypt in my opening hand, along with my turn 1 Ragavan. I guess hand's pretty good. Leyline of the Void. Well, Ragavan's a pretty good sidestep to that. Let's play a Crypt. Let's play a Bauble. Let's play a Ragavan. I just love that this deck can just pivot, you know? Like, that Leyline is almost... I mean, it's good, and it's good if I draw a Daredevil to, like, turn off my food generation, but... I'm keeping the Bauble in play in case I find Thought Monitor, so I'm just going to attack. They do not have a removal spell. They hit a Scheming Symmetry. I don't think I want to cast that. So, let's go... Saga... Cookbook... Discard the extra land that we don't need because we have Ragavan making treasures. Play ASMO. And I'm just going to hang on to the other Cookbook. Because I may just want to discard it. I'll just pass. Now that I have enough artifacts, I can probably afford to sack this Bauble. Take a peek at what they're drawing. Is it a land? It is. Okay. It's definitely step 1 for them. Profane Tutor. Alright, untap. Draw a card off the Bauble. Saga goes up to chapter 2. We'll attack for 5. They go to 12. We hit an Inquisition, which is pretty dope. Let's cast that. They have... What exactly is Calibrated Blast? Reveal cards on top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. Put the revealed card on your library in order. Whenever you reveal a non-land card, this way deals damage because that card's melee value to any targets. So I guess they're trying to flip Emrakul with this? I think I'll just take Prismari Command because it's the card that answers Ragavan. And I'll just make a Saga token. Play an untapped land. They do have Profane Tutor going off in 2 turns, or next turn, excuse me. I guess not, because I guess they're off it. But yeah, I mean, they mulliganed. But I think this game is a perfect example of your opponents bringing in Graveyard Hate against the traditional, like the traditional green-black ASMO decks that Leyline is actually really good against that have Beasting Troll King and things of that nature. Graveyard Hate just is kind of not very good against the deck that has, you know, Ragavan and Urza Saga. You just have a lot of ways to beat Graveyard Hate. So I think that's why I like this particular setup a little bit more, because it is better suited against the sideboard cards. So 2-0. Hope you enjoyed the games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 3. Alrighty, YouTube, we are back here for round number 3. Urza ASMO 2-0. Let's see if we can keep it going. It appears that our opponent has a companion. Let's see what they have. They have revealed Lurus of the Dream Den. Alright. What does our hand do? Well, I got a Ragavan, and then if they kill it, I got another Ragavan. So I'm going to keep it. So now they need 2 removal spells. And if they don't kill the first Ragavan, the second one, like, having the second one again doesn't really matter too much because we're going to get such an advantage off the first one that is okay. This is just a must kill, so. Basic Plains. Ooh, maybe not a must kill against this particular deck. They have Esper Sentinel. Alright, see if they want to trade. Kind of okay with the trade. Because again, we have a second one. Trade is Gucci. Let's get a basic island. Then I'll play Pirate Spellbomb. The question is, do I want to kill the Ornithopter to stunt their mana? No, because if they let's say they have a 2-drop here, like a Stoneforge Mystic, then I can just kill the Stoneforge, get a hit in with Ragavan. So I think that's better. They have a Saga, which could be bad for me. Alright, now they have 2 blockers. Colossus Hammer, are they going to cast it? Drum. Ooh, they don't even care about the Ragavan. So they have 1 hammer in hand. Let's attack with Ragavan. Get a treasure. And a land. So we're in trouble if they have a second hammer? Because they untap, Saga goes to Chapter 2, they attack with Ornithopter, I can't block because I don't have a flyer, they play first hammer, I respond and Pirate Spellbomb 2 to it, they play second hammer and I die. So I could shoot the Ornithopter main phase to play around that, because they don't have mana up right now. The only problem with that is I'm not doing anything else with my turn. But yeah, I really think I have to just play Urza here. I don't think I can afford to just spend my entire turn Pirate Spellbombing. I'm just too far behind at that point. Just like not using all my mana. I can always draw a card with the Spellbomb. I could also draw Aether Spellbomb, which would be good. But I can't afford to spend my entire turn just Pirate Spellbombing. It'd be a lot easier if I had a cookbook. So I could play an ASMO, have another food up, and then have an activation of ASMO up, but yeah, I just don't think I can afford to do that. It's just such a poor use of my mana. Like, yeah, this is a risky line, but alright, so their last card's Giver. So they're going to go attack with Ornithopter, Hammer, I put me to 6. And then I basically have to draw... Well, the nice thing about Ornithopter is once it has Hammer on it, it no longer has Flying. So, not necessarily dead. Yeah, they're going to hammer it. So now I kind of have to save the Pirate Spellbomb to kill the Giver of Runes, so I'm not just dead to Giver giving this protection. I guess I have 3 different colors of blockers, but... I also have a Saga, which is bad. Maybe I do have to draw a card here. This is tough. Like, I think I have to draw a Cookbook and a Daredevil. And then I could play ASMO with an activation up. Chump block their Ornithopter, kill the next thing they put the hammer on. Is that good enough? I don't know if it is. But if I just hold up the Pirate Spellbomb, kill the Giver, they get another hammer, hammer up this. Plus they have the Saga token that's also, they have 3 lethal attackers, then I'm just like chump blocking with everything. Like, I just don't even think that's good enough. I don't know if I have any outs, but I know that that's not an out. Okay. I mean, I guess I'm not dead. But then I just have to, like, chump block with my whole team. Alright, now let's go to the next game. Alright, game 2. To bring in Galvanic Blast, which is good. Needle Stop, Stoneforge, Giver, and Colossus Hammer if they have Pure Steel Paladin, so I think that's good. Shadow Spear could be good at racing, potentially. Hurkyl's Recall's absurd against them. And maybe Grid, but I think Grid's a little too slow. So I've got 5 cards. Emry's kind of slow. They have a lot of blockers for Ragavan. Monitor's kind of slow. Trim a Street Wraith is usually kind of where I'm at. Yeah, I like that. I like that setup. Alright, we get to be in the play, which is good. So we have a removal spell, and a Hurkyl's Recall, and a Saga. We have a Bauble plus a fetch land. So depending on what they do, we can bubble ourselves, see what we're looking for. They have Sigarda's Aid. That is okay. Found an ASMO, which we can't turn on right now. So I think I'll put that away. Alright, we got a Saga. Just play the control game in this matchup. They also have a Saga, but we have Recall, so... yeah, Stoneforge, that's fine. Let them get a thing, and then I'll just kill it end step. Drew a Cookbook, which I do not want to play this turn because I just want to make constructs. Yeah. Potentially play it next turn. See what they do. I kind of assume they're just going to make a construct here. Maybe they'll do other stuff, though. But I have to imagine we can get them with Recall at some point. But we can kind of just play this little Drago game. Yeah, that's fine. I don't really care about that. Sure. Shadow Spear has entered the revealed card zone. Alright, we'll make a thing. A Thought Monitor. So if I make another Saga token, I can't hold up Hurkyl's Recall. So in that case, what I think I might do is just float a colorless. This kind of makes it pretty obvious what I have, though. So I guess what I could have done, maybe I should have just made a construct, get a blue spell bomb, and then just played Steam Vents untapped. That probably would have been better. But now we're kind of taking this pass. Let's get a Cookbook. Let's play another Saga. Let's play a Cookbook. I'll pay 1 for the Sentinel tax now. And then I'll just pass with Hurkyl's Recall up. I could probably even attack here, right? Yeah, attacking's probably fine. So they take 5, go to 15. And we have Hurkyl's Recall. We have a lot of stuff available to us. Well, mostly just Recall, but... it's also just impossible to play around. Like, they could play around a Galvanic Blast and potentially a Bounce Spell, but this doesn't target any of their creatures, so... I'll just let that happen. That's fine. And if they attack and don't play anything, I'll just take 11. It's really not that bad. Alright, they have another hammer. It's also fine. Alright, so pick up the 2 hammers and the Sentinel. Oh, wait. No, because... oh, yeah, they just replay the hammers. I forgot this doesn't bounce the aid. Huh. Well, I guess I just had no outs then, right? Huh. Yeah, I forgot that it doesn't bounce the aid. Yeah, they just replay the 2 hammers now. I guess if I leave this back... because we know they have Shadow Spear too, right? So it's 10, 21, 22, minus 5 is 17. So I guess I go to 2. Oh. Yeah, that was a little bit of a misstep there, but I don't think it would have mattered. I feel like this matchup should be really good, but we didn't draw ASMO, so. I hope you enjoyed the games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 4. Alrighty, you two, back here for round number 4? Round number 4. This hand is a bit of a weird one. Unfortunately, can't keep this because we don't have any way. We don't have a colored source to play ASMO. If we draw a fetch land or a steam vents or a canal, this hand's kind of insane. Because then we just go turn one. I guess we still can't play 2 spells on 1, but this hand has so much upside. I want to keep it so bad, but I know I should mulligan on the draw. All right, we can just do better on 6. Yeah, this is better. I could just put back Street Wraith, because we have Cookbook to turn on ASMO if we draw it anyways. It won't allow us to play turn 1 ASMO, but... Hallowed Fountain. Serum Visions. So this... I don't know, maybe a control deck? Maybe some sort of Stoneblade deck? Could be... Delver? Not sure. See what else they got. I'm just gonna play some stuff. I'm just gonna play it all in case they have like Esper Sentinel or something weird like that. What did they do with their scries? They went 2 cards on top. So let's take a look at the first card they put on top. It's a Flooded Strand. And then after they draw the strand, I'll take a look at the next one. Because they definitely wanted to keep it. Thopter Foundry. Alright, what's the other card they put on top? Flooded Strand and Goblin Engineer. Okay, do we want to activate Cookbook now? I don't think so. Draw a card off Bauble. That's a good draw. So, can discard Daredevil, bring it back, play Saga, play Cookbook, discard Daredevil, bring it back, play Pirate Spellbomb. Just put a bunch of material in play. And then we have Pirate Spellbomb to kill Goblin Engineer. But they can just find the sword. They need another artifact to sacrifice, though. Alright, Sacred Foundry, play Goblin Engineer. Okay. Let's play a Bauble. Let's make some food. So there's no reason to kill the Goblin Engineer quite yet. They have another Foundry on top. It's unfortunate, because now they can just play that, sack it to the original Foundry, and start the Sword Chain. Okay. So they're drawing Thopter Foundry. You have an Urza. So how do we get around a bunch of Thopters? I guess we just make a ton of food? Potentially keep up with ASMO? It's gonna be tough. Because we don't have the Shadow Spear main deck. We would be able to trample over the Thopters if we had Shadow Spear, but that's in our sideboard. Yeah, this is going to be a tough game, I think. Because at the very least, they can just play Thopter Foundry, sack the Thopter Foundry to the other one. They're choosing to play Recruiter. Alright, and they get the sword back with Recruiter. That's kind of cool. Alright, Recruiter comes back, that's fine. And they get... What do they get? Skyclave Apparition. Okay. So no attacks. We'll make a construct. It's a 9/9. Okay, so before we decide on what we want to do with Saga, let's cycle this, because I want to get more information. It's an Emry. So we have no outs to play Urza this turn? 10, 11, 12, 13. We cannot quite present a lethal attack, but I'm just going to make a construct. Oh, no, we can. Right, if we get a cookbook, we can force them to block. But then they just block with this, right? Alright, let's get a cookbook just to make more food. Let's attack. So this does force a block, so they just block with Recruiter. Alright, pass. So they can make 3 blockers. Can only kill 1 of them. Oh. So they just go infinite? Alright, we're dead. Matchup seems a little tough. Like, it's tough for us to interact with this game 1, at least, because we don't have the Needle, we don't have the Shadow Spear. We have a lot of good tools after sideboard, though. I think all of those are coming in. Galvanic Blast kills Urza. They probably have Emry, too. Is Hurkyl's Recall good against them? Might be okay. Rebuke is also probably pretty good. We have a lot of good cards. Aether Spellbomb. I mean, they've got to be a Saga deck, right? So what's our Saga targets here? Let's just kind of put them over here. Because I don't know if we want all of them. Maybe we don't want the Crypt and the Lantern. It's probably too much. Ragavan is generally pretty bad against the Thopter Foundry stuff, so maybe I cut Ragavan in a Mox. That I'm fine with. And then we probably don't need fast ASMO, so I can cut a Street Wraith. And maybe only 2 Rebukes, because Rebuke's only really good against Urza. You don't want any Rebukes. Actually, her Recall is pretty good against... Recall's pretty good if they make a bunch of Thopters, then I can maybe set up a lethal attack by recalling their board. So let's do that. I think that makes sense to me. Okay. We have an Emry. We have 2 Daredevils, which don't really do anything. But we have an Emry and a Saga. I think I'm going to keep this. If Emry finds a Cookbook, we're chilling, because then we have Daredevil with Cookbook. I think this hand is okay. Alright, Bauble, Tarn, pass. I'm not going to sack the Bauble, so I get a discounted Emry next turn. Alright, get a Steam Vent, so we have both colors. Untap. Alright, just play Saga here. Play Emry. Best turn. Let me hit the Cookbook, which is good. They're choosing to bobble. I should have bubbled them there, because I'm going to sack the bubble anyways, and they kept the card, so I should have bubbled them to take a peek and see what they kept. Because they bubbled themselves and chose not to fetch. Which means they wanted to keep the card, so I should have bubbled them there. They did bubble themselves, right? Yeah, they did. So I should have bubbled them. Slight misstep. Plains Glacial Fortress. I'm beginning to think if they have Glacial Fortress, they probably don't have Urza Saga. Which is a little odd, I will say. They have a Teferi on top. Alright, well now I'm just going to make some constructs. So I'll play Bauble. And they Flooded Strand and just pass. So now I would just like to make some constructs. If they Teferi uptick, I can actually force a chump block too, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I can. If they want to keep Teferi, that is, but they may not want to. They're probably... I wonder if they're just going to bounce Emry. They might. But then they just have to chump block the Urza Saga, right? So I don't even know if that's good. Maybe they just don't care about Teferi. Alright, we get an island. I think I'm going to just keep the bauble in play for now. 2... Yeah, because my next turn's kind of already planned out anyways. Alright, let's make another construct. Sack this. Get... Maybe just get Soul Guide Lantern. Got a lot of options here. I definitely don't need a cookbook, because I already have one. Maybe just Soul Guide Lantern. Kind of try and play around the combo a little bit. Exile their bauble, attack Teferi. And then play Emry. Yeah, I kind of like that. Let's get Soul Guide. Attack Teferi. See if they would like the chump block. They may not. They choose not to. Play Steam Vents. I'm going to save the fetch land for bauble purposes next turn. I could have baubled myself there, which may have been better. So bauble myself if... Well, it doesn't matter, right, because I have the Emry. So if the card's good, then I'm just milling it away with the Emry anyways. So I think it's better to hang on to the bauble for now. We also have Spellbomb to bounce the Sanctifier, which, even if I did care about it, which I don't really... I could have, like, preemptively gotten Needle and named Teferi, which is good if they have a second Teferi, because now they could bounce Constructs, but it's kind of okay for me. It's annoying, but I don't mind it too much. Alright, they have Thopter Foundry. Explosives on 0. Sure. Alright, save the bauble again as for reasons we stated last turn. Trying to think if there's anything I want to do before combat. I don't want to put any more zeros in play because they have the explosives. But I do think I would like the Spell Bomb in play, I believe. So let's do that. Let's play Spell Bomb. Let's play Fetch. Play Cookbook, and we can attack for 12. Alright, so they're going to pop the explosives. I would like to bauble myself in response. It's a Thought Monitor, which I'm definitely not shuffling away. Alright, so let that go. Second main. So I could discard something to play the ASMO, but then I'm shuffling with the Monitor, which I don't really want to do. So I'll just pass with all my stuff up. There's a world where I go end step, bounce this, make a food. Sure, they have a recruiter. Yeah, and just make a bunch of food. Because then I can go second cookbook, make more food that way. And then I'll have... And then I can get a third cookbook, so I'll have ASMO with 4 food in play. Which I think is good. They have an engineer. Which shouldn't matter because we have the ASMO. I'll take 2. Yeah, I think I like end step bouncing the Sanctifier. And then start to generate some food that way. I think that's really good. So I'll crack this. I guess I didn't need to sacrifice that. I could have kept that fetch land in play. Bounce this. Discard Daredevil. Alright, get Daredevil back. Untap. Discard Daredevil. Cast ASMO. We'll get another Cookbook. I will play a Cookbook from my graveyard. And I want to play 2 more Cookbooks here, so I have 2 ASMO activations. Discard Daredevil. Discard Daredevil. Play Thought Monitor. Draw 2. And pass. Alright, so we know they have an Engineer and a Sanctifier and Vec in their hand. Neither of those cards are particularly scary, because we can just kill the Engineer, and if they have a removal spell for the ASMO, we have a backup one. We also now have Thought Monitor loops with Emry, so we also have some combo insurance, which is going to require them to have another artifact, like if they play the Thopter Foundry, or if they play the Sword, they need another artifact. So, we're doing okay here. Like, they're basically required to play the Sanctifier, or else I just generate too much food. And if they do that, then I can just Emry back the Spell Bomb, bounce it, make 3 more food. Like, I can just keep bouncing the Sanctifier every turn. Alright, we're back. They tanked for a little bit and now have a Recruiter on the stack. Okay, Recruiter is in play. What are they getting? We shall see. Skyclave Apparition. So, target ASMO? I would assume so. Alright, there's no reason to kill anything now because we just have another ASMO. We can kill stuff next turn, so that's okay. We'll let that go. So we know they have an Engineer and a Sanctifier in hand. Worth noting. We'll make a food. I don't have any cookbooks left, but that's fine. Play this. Make some food. Make some food. So, now I think I'm just going to play super duper safe, target the Spell Bomb, play the Spell Bomb. So now if they have a removal spell, I can just pick up the ASMO in response. And I guess I will also play the Shadow Spear. Yeah, I still have everything up, so I think that's okay. Attack for 2. Hold up all of our stuff. Just play super duper safe. I feel like as long as we hold up a bunch of mana, we have a million ASMO triggers. Now if they kill this one, what I'll probably do is just kill all their creatures and then pick up the ASMO with Spell Bomb. So, got that going for us. Can equip the Thought Monitor with Shadow Spear and start going ham. They have a Sanctifier, which shouldn't matter too much. It, like, sort of shuts off our Daredevil, but we can always bounce it with Spell Bomb and then make food that way. So, it's not too threatening. You can also find Pirate Spell Bomb and just kill it outright. That'd be kind of dope. Are they going to play the Engineer? Skyclave Apparition. So they're going to target ASMO. Alright, I will kill... I'll just kill their stuff. So I'm going to kill their stuff and then just bounce the ASMO. Alright, Skyclave is fine. So their last, we know one of them is a Goblin Engineer, which it looks like they're choosing not to play, which makes sense because they know about the ASMO. So let's go Spellbomb. Play Spellbomb. Bounce this. Make some food. This is, I guess, a little risky if they have a third Skyclave. But I think it's okay. Alright, make a food. Make a food. Make a food. Play ASMO. No search. Play Canal. Attack for 2. Hold up Galvanic Blast. Yeah, so this way, by preemptively using the Spellbomb, we're not holding up Spellbomb if they have a third Skyclave Apparition to kill this, but I think we're doing okay. Alright, that shouldn't matter. So we still know they have a Goblin Engineer, which they have chosen not to play. They have another Sanctifier. Okay. I think I can live with that. They have an Engineer, which I assume is going to get Sword. Yeah. We'll just untap. No reason to do anything now. Mishra's Bauble. Alright, let's Bauble. They're at 12. Let's just kill this. And get our Aether Spellbomb back. Just play super safe. And equip this. Bauble you. They have an Urza on top. Good card, but I don't know that it's good enough. Because we just have the Urza kind of covered with ASMO. Okay. Trigger on the stack. I'll kill it. So they can go float blue and spin the Urza, I guess? But they don't have an extra artifact to go off with sword, so that doesn't matter, because they can't sack tokens to Thopter Foundry, so they still don't have an artifact to go off with this. Want to do anything in step? No, I'm gonna just untap. I think I will just untap. Attack for 3. What do I want to do this turn? I could replay Bauble. I could replay Cookbook. I could bounce something, replay Spellbomb. That's probably the safest line. Like, bounce this. Replay the Spellbomb. Just play this. And then even hang on to the island in case we need to make a bunch of food with Cookbook. Yeah, I'll just pass. Should be fine. Should have almost everything covered. We have Galvanic Blast and Hurkyl's Recall and Asmo and Spell Bomb up. We have access to all 4 of them. So they have to fight through 4 pieces of interaction. Pithing Needle stops one of them. So that's fine. I'll just let that go. It does allow them to... Oh, no, it doesn't, because we have the Soul Guide. So they still can't even... So they can name the Soul Guide. Sure. Okay, so I let this go. Trigger on the stack, Galvanic Blast it. They respond sack found, or they respond sack needle, I respond bounce this, right? Or I should have led on bounce, because then they respond sack needle, I respond blast. Yeah, so I should have led on, probably led on bouncing it. I think that would have been a little bit better. Because what they can do is they can tap needle, sack needle, do this. Oh, they're just letting it go? Okay. So they get a construct. So what's their plan? I guess they're just going to make some blockers for this. Still don't really think I need to act. So I'll just untap. I will... 6. Oh yeah, they can't do that, because if they sack the needle, then they just lose the... Right, then I can just Soul Guide them, right? So they can't do that, yeah. If they ever sack the needle, then I just Soul Guide them. Right, that's the whole point of this. So... I kind of want to play the second Emry just to try and find the needle. And get 4 looks at a needle. We hit a bauble. Oh, we hit a monitor? Alright, I'll take a monitor. It's just 2 more cards. Alright, Saga's good. And just pass. So now what happens if they draw an artifact? I respond and Hurkyl's them? It's not even that great, though. Yeah. Alright, I'll just start making some food. I don't need these extra lands. This has been a weird game. Very weird game. Right. Untap. They're at 3. Should have most things covered, though. I believe. What is this? So, Whir of Invention. Whir for X equals 2. What are they getting? Probably just like a spell bomb, something to sacrifice to the Thopter Foundry. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I think I can just let this go. See what they get. I have Hurkyl's Recall to cover me against almost anything. Like, I can't think of a card that they could get, a 2-mana artifact that they could get that would let them play around Hurkyl's Recall. Like another sword. So now what? They sack the needle? Or no, they do this. So I just respond and Hurkyl's them? Yeah. And this should be good enough. So now, if they want to get back this, they have to sack the needle, in which case then I respond and soul guide them. Right, okay. Yeah, this should do it, because then they resolve 2 thought profanity triggers, they go to 5, they have no flyers in play, they take 5. So this should be good enough. What a weird game. And they have 2 tokens, but I can just kill the tokens with ASMO. So they're sacrificing the Thopter Foundry. Okay. Sure. So those come into play. Then everything gets picked up, and they make a 1/1/1 with them at 4, and I have an ASMO in play. Okay. So, we're good. They're at 5, excuse me, but I still have an ASMO to kill this. Okay, take 5, game 3. What a wild game. Again, I feel like I was just kind of in a spot where I could never lose anyways with the recall. Maybe there was like maybe there might have been a draw step that they could have had at some point. But I don't know. I felt pretty much in the driver's seat the entire time with as long as I held up the Hurkyl's Recall. I just had access to so many different things to shut off their combo, so I felt in a good spot. I could also bring in Crypt if I thought I wanted Crypt and Crypt and Lantern, which helps me get around. It does help me get around Needle because they did show me Needle. Maybe I do that. Just have less Street Wraiths. Could also kind of land on the draw. Maybe I don't need Shadow Spear if I have Hurkyl's Recall. It's kind of nice to have access to. Yeah, I think I like this. All right, this has been a long match. This has been a long match. I don't know if people are gonna necessarily make it all the way through for this one, but. Game number 3. We're already 35 minutes into round 3. We still got a whole game to play. Well, we shall see. It's not even like either of us are playing slow. It's just there's a lot of game actions. Alright, Sand's good. Sand has a lot of Sagas and a fast Emry. Man, I want to draw Bauble here so bad. Alright, let's go Canal. Cookbook. Bass. I don't want them to know I have the Spell Bomb to go with the Emry. Good chance I just play the Spell Bomb next turn, but. They have a Goblin Engineer. Maybe. Maybe. Prismatic ending the Cookbook. Do I discard the backup Emry? No, I don't think so. Because they might kill the first Emry, so I want to keep both just in case. Maybe that was kind of a spew. They have Soul Guide Lantern as well, which is not ideal. Let's play this. Play Saga. Play Spell Bomb. Play Emry. And pass. We did hit the Pyrite Spell Bomb, which is not bad. So it looks like their hand has a lot of interaction, which May or may not be good against our hand, because we can kind of put the pressure on pretty quickly with Urza Saga. If they go to kill Emry, I can just tap Amber, bounce it back to my hand. Although, given the second Emry, I probably would choose not to do that. So if they kill the Emry, then I could just go tap Canal, play second Emry, play Saga, activate. They're choosing to draw a card off the Lantern when we have an Emry in play, so that's really good for us. Alright, I'm going to play Tarn here, because I don't want to lose the extra chapter on Saga. So let's do this, and we'll just hold up Saga. Get to pressure them with Saga while it looks like they're mana screwed. Goblin Engineer is more than fine, because we have Pirate Spellbomb to kill it. So that is not something I particularly care about. Let's make a Saga token. Make another Saga token. Let's just play it super safe. Get the Lantern. Lantern the sword. Play Saga. Kill this. Get back Spellbomb. Attack for 6. Then we have Soul Guide up. Yeah, I mean, it's really unfortunate that they missed land drops, but our draw was really good, you know? It's possible if they didn't miss land drops and weren't forced to sacrifice the Lantern, you know, maybe it's a different game, because then they can, like, mitigate the Emry with the Lantern, but yeah, a bit of an unfortunate way to end after that really sweet game, too, but hope you enjoyed the games, and I'll see you back in just a little bit for the 5th and final round. Alrighty, you two, back here for round number 5 after that crazy round number 4. Our opponent has 80 cards, so they have a bird. We have a turn 1 Ragavan, but if it dies, we don't have much else. I'm going to keep this hand. This hand's a little risky, I will say that, but if we draw any cheap artifact, then it's okay, because we can potentially turn on Emry. I'm not going to show them we have the Amber. Even though if they had a removal spell for Ragavan, they would 100% use it either way. Concealed Courtyard. What does Concealed Courtyard Yorion mean? Some sort of taxes strategy, perhaps? Alright, we got lucky and ripped the land that we needed. So, milling nothing off of Emry kind of stinks. Just like a cookbook would have been insane there. Alright, our hand is kind of Sculler-proof, so that shouldn't matter too much. Need to find like a bauble or a cookbook. They took Daredevil. That is neither of those. I am going to play the second Emry here. It sucks if they have a removal spell for the first one, but I just got to find something to do with this Emry. I have nothing going on. I found an Amber, which does not help me. Alright, pass. We also milled 3 ASMOs. We're in a pretty bad spot now. Pretty bad spot. I kept a speculative hand. Ended up paying off because we drew the land that we needed. But we just hit nothing off of 2 Emry activations. Which is going to happen, you know. That's unfortunate, but that is magic. Urza would be a good draw. Assuming they don't kill this. Okay, well they did kill it. Alright, Steam Vents go. Pass turn. See what they have. Need to find an Urza, or maybe a Ragavan Dash if they don't play a creature here. Saga is no longer a good draw. Alright. Maybe not drawn a really... Not really. Have I drawn a spell since my opening hand? I think maybe I drew the second Emry? Guess I drew straight rather than turn 1, but... Okay. Mm-hmm. Good news for you. My hand's still bad. Alright. Emry may or may not find something. Alright. Well, they know about the land now, so I'll just play it. Well, if they can't kill the Emry, can start mowing down their stuff. Solitude. So we go to 4. Don't really know what we can draw at this point. Probably starts with Urza, if I had to guess. I mean, they should just choose not to cast this, right? Because they know my last card. There's just no reason to cast it. Yeah. Alright, I go to 4, go to 5, excuse me. And they put Yorion in their hand. Yeah, I just don't know what I can possibly draw at this point. Okay. Luris. Main deck Luris, huh? It's not a cookbook, let me tell you that. Alright, so black-white Yorion stuff. Do I even want to sideboard? Galvanic Blast, I guess, is good against their Ephemerate stuff. It's good against Sculler, too. The Graveyard Hate's kind of whatever. These are kind of whatever. Recall doesn't do anything, because they don't play artifacts. Gust doesn't have targets. Could bring in Rebuke. And the problem with Rebuke is, like, I think a lot of their... Sometimes, like, they probably have Aether Vial, and a lot of their spells are pretty cheap anyways. I do think I want these Grids, though. Grid seems insane against them. I'm going to do my usual minus a Wraith, minus a Ragavan, minus a Mox. And we'll try that. Grid is not only good because it kills a lot of their creatures, but it's also a card that they could potentially have Stony Sound, so I kind of want access to Grid. Let's see how they are sideboarding. Alright, we're back. On the plate. They got Aeorion. We have a hand that doesn't do anything, so I'll mulligan. So... can put back Steam Vents. And then go turn 1 Cookbook, turn 2 Emry. I'm going to get Steam Vents because they showed us Field of Ruin. Well, I want to make sure... I want to leave the basics in my deck is what I'm getting at. Make sure I have max basics. Relic of Progenitus. Sure, that's fine. I think I'm not going to make a food end step. Let's play Mox. Play Emry. Mill 4. Alright, exile the Strand. Mill the Bauble, which is not bad. So I can discard to Cookbook, have 3 artifacts, 2 mana. That's not enough to cast Monitor, so I'll just pass for now. See what they choose to do. I have a Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. So I really want to draw a land here. Assume they got Cauldra. They did. Yeah, land would be quite a good draw. So I'm actually not going to fetch because I want to make sure I have lands in my deck. I think I need to keep both of these because they're both pretty good. That is the single worst draw in my deck. Because now, because I chose not to discard with Cookbook, I cannot play... no, that's not true. I can discard Emry, play Bauble, right? And then I have 4 artifacts plus 3 mana. Okay, yeah. Target Bauble. I will guess Bauble. I'll discard extra Emry. Now we have 4 artifacts plus 3 mana. I'll just get a basic. Now that they have the Cauldron, I kind of want to be a little cognizant of my life total. Let's play the Bauble. And we will pass. I'll activate Relic. I'll exile land. We need to find like an Aether Spell Bomb. That's what we need to find. So they're going to get busy with the Cauldron. Okay, that's fine. I think I'm going to cycle both Baubles. Because I kind of want to find Spell Bomb. Or Saga. Saga to find Spell Bomb. They have a Plains on top. Cycling both, I guess, is worse against Relic, but I don't think they're going to pop Relic here. Maybe they do. Alright, target Bauble, see if they want to pop Relic. Kind of don't mind if they do. Alright, they chose not to. So now I can actually go get a basic. Basic Mountain? I guess it doesn't matter. Play Urza. We know they have a Plains on top, so dashing this Ragavan is kind of whatever. But go tap this. Tap this. Oops, no, I need to do that. Dash. Attack for 4, generate a treasure. Oh, that's good for us. That's actually really good for us because now they draw the Plains, which means I get a fresh look at Ragavan. We hit... exile the land, probably. Okay, we still hit a land. And... alright, now I'll just pass. Pick up the Ragavan. We're kind of treading water with the Cauldron anyways, because I can just start sacking food to, like, get myself above, you know, not in germ territory, like dying to Cauldron. So we're kind of doing okay in that department. Not perfect, but once we find a Spell Bomb, this game just gets blown wide open. Alright, I'll take 5. Ooh, no attacks. Okay, untap. I'll take an untap. ASMO. ASMO. So I guess their plan is to put Batterskull into play, draw 5th land, equip this. So I should probably dig for the Spell Bomb with this second Emry. Now what? Now what? What is my best plan against Batterskull equip? Start spinning, try and find either Spell Bomb. It's only a 1-of, but Saga also is like a Spell Bomb with Suspend too. So why don't we do this? We have a Stoneforge on top. Let's replay the bauble. Play bauble. I think the Ragavan is kind of whatever at this point, so let's just discard Ragavan. Play ASMO with some food. Get a cookbook. And then let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Spin with Urza. Hit a land. And then it's kind of free to play the cookbook. No, because I don't get the sack bauble. So I'm just going to hang on to the cookbook. I'll attack for 2. Can't attack with anything else because the Cauldron just eats stuff in combat. But yeah, this equipped Batterskull is going to be a little tough. Oh, they don't have Batterskull. Okay, that's a lot better for me. What do they have then? Huh. Not sure. Because they don't have Batterskull. Now they're choosing to attack. We'll just take 5. That is fine. They have a sweeper, maybe? They have dam? Okay. They're at 14. Let's end step, kill the Stoneforge, see if they want to respond. They gotta have Solitude, right? I think they 100% have Solitude here. They have to. So I think it makes sense. Okay. So we'll draw a card off the bauble. We got a Saga. So you have 5 artifacts. So let's play... Let's just play Cookbook first, and then Thought Monitor. So they're choosing to respond. Okay. They're killing the Urza. Huh. They're at 13. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think that's okay. Just make up mana. I don't think I care that much about that. I don't really want to spin. Okay, that's fine. Also worth noting, I go to 6. Oh, that's a really good draw. Okay, so Saga. That should be lethal, right? Go shoot this. Play Cookbook. Shoot this again. And then 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Right? Yeah. Alright. Alrighty. Game number 3. White, black, Stoneforge. I think I like the way I sideboarded, so let's see if we can get him on the draw for game 3. That was a sweet game. Gear Part Aether Grid coming in clutch. I could have cut more Ragavans on the draw if I thought I wanted more cards. Could Needle for Stoneforge. Crypt does not seem good. Just don't think I want any of these other cards. Like, Rebuke is whatever. Recall kind of stinks. I guess Recall is another route to, what you call it, Cauldra, but they have a Stoneforge, they just put it back in play, so it's not really an out to Cauldra. It's like a very temporary solution. Alright, well, this hand just kind of needs to find an ASMO. It's really good. But it's hard to mulligan a hand that has, you know, turn 1, either Regavant or Cookbook, depending. It is better, much better to play Cookbook on 1 if they have, like, Grief plus Ephemerate. I guess I can cycle this first and... Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have bobbled myself. That's what I should have done. That's definitely what I should have done. Because now I'm just going to bobble myself anyways. There's a Cookbook on top. Okay, well now I don't care if they play a discard spell. I guess if they have specifically Ephemerate plus Grief, they get to take both Cookbooks. Yeah, but now if they have Sculler, it's whatever, right? I guess they Sculler this, but... Yeah, they just Sculler the Daredevil, but then they just can't block, right? If their plan is to take this. So it's still pretty good for me. I can also just bounce this to start the Daredevil chain. It chose to take Aether Spellbomb. Okay, which means they're probably not blocking, so I will attack. Maybe they are blocking. They are. Okay, that's fine. Get our Spellbomb back. Play some Cookbooks. Just gonna play some Cookbooks to make a bunch of food here. Pass. And I could just spend next turn making some Saga tokens. Or making a Saga token. Generating more food with Cookbook. I have a Skyclave, it's kind of whatever. Make some food. They have 4 cards. I'm going to slow roll the other Saga, so I get full value out of both of them. Now they have to deal with 4 constructs. Seems kind of tough. I will 100% make a Saga, because whatever they have, they're just going to cast anyways. Sure. I will take 2. That is perfectly acceptable. They're down to 3 cards. They have another Sculler. So I'm going to discard the Daredevil but not get it back to keep it in my graveyard. And then they get to take the Spell Bomb. But I think it's more important to have the Daredevil in my hand. I guess if I leave the Daredevil, they take Daredevil, then I can just Spell Bomb the Sculler back, but... So this gets back the Daredevil. And then we get... probably a... Pyrite Spell Bomb. Yeah... I mean, I'm going to end up playing Saga this turn. I think it's okay, though. Alright, best turn. I could have played a Scalding Tarn to hold up Pirate Spellbomb. Maybe that was better. I'm not sure. Because now if they have Ephemerate, they can Ephemerate the Skyclave to kill the Cookbook, but I think that's okay. Alright, that doesn't matter, because we have Pirate Spellbomb to kill it, unless they have Ephemerate as one of their last cards. So this is just a Yorion turn, which is kind of okay. Yeah, that's fine. Discard Daredevil, get it back. We have a 7/7, they can't attack. Get that, that makes a construct. So... if I dash Ragavan, I don't get to make a construct this turn. So, let's not do that. Let's just attack. Let's see what they do. I assume they're not going to block. I'm just going to make a thing. I take... Oh, I missed that point of damage there. I should have discarded Daredevil. And then I'm just going to sack this main phase to blow up the Stoneforge Mystic. So they can't put Cauldron into play. And then just pass. So they get to Yorion. Yeah, actually, maybe it's better to not do the Daredevil thing. Well, I could have just discarded it and not put it back in my hand, right? So I should have at least discarded it, but probably just kept it in the graveyard, because they're going to Yorion Blink the Sculler this turn. But I guess if they do that, then they just give me the Spellbomb back, right? And they can't do that. So I think all roads kind of lead to Rome here. Because we should have 2 Lethal Constructs next turn. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we'll have 2 Lethal Constructs. So their hand is Cauldron, Yorion, and this equipment that they're getting. So they're just going to double Chump Block? Alright, fine with that. Sword of Fire and Ice. Not the best against constructs. Not the best. Okay, Daredevil. Get a Saga. Now I can just... Where's my needle? Did I not bring a needle? Oh, I should have brought a needle for Stoneforge, I think. I guess Cookbook is more artifacts. So now we can just dash Ragavan. Why not? I don't mind if they trade Ragavan, because these are both the Abyss. So and they just get the Spellbomb back. Hit a Vanishing Verse. Oh, right, I already played my land for the turn. So I can't hold up Spellbomb. So maybe I wasn't supposed to dash the Ragavan there. I mean, I'd like to play the Spellbomb so it's not in my hand. In case they have another Sculler. But honestly, if they just, like, put Cauldron to play and attack with the sword, I could just Chump Block with Construct, right? Still have 2 Lethal Constructs. Or I could just take a hit and have 3 Lethal Constructs with a Spellbomb. Yeah, so I wonder if I don't dash the Ragavan, they still kind of have to make the same block, right? And they give me back the Spellbomb. Then I just play Spellbomb and hold it up, and they just can basically never win. So yeah, I probably wasn't supposed to dash Ragavan there. It's give me the mana to hold up Spellbomb. Because, like, yeah, even though the Ragavan was basically unblockable that turn, because they have to keep the Stoneforge in play to have a shot. Just, like, can I really lose if I just not dash the Ragavan, they Chump Block with those two, and I hold up Spellbomb? Like, there's just almost no way I can lose at that point. So that probably would have been better. But again, it's like, kind of all roads lead to Rome at that point. Alright, there we go. Choosing to put Stoneforge, Cauldron into play. Choosing to put Batterskull into play. And equip with Sword of Fire and Ice? I'm confused. Alright, I will make a thing. Do they have Solitude? Maybe they have Solitude plus Flicker? They must, right? Now it's kind of free to dash the Ragavan. The reason to play the Cookbook first, right? No, it gets more damage in. And I have enough mana up, so it doesn't really matter. Alright. Zach. Oh, they're just taking it? Okay. I guess they were just dead. Alrighty, got the 4-1. Losing that match to Hammer Time. But yeah, this deck is incredibly busted. I don't know yet whether or not it's better than the black-green version that we played earlier in a previous video. Be sure to go check that one out. But I don't know. This deck just feels like it's a little more resilient than the black-green version. It's better against Graveyard Hate. It is a little bit slower because you don't have the turn 2 Feasting Troll King draws like we had in the previous version. But this one's more resilient and kind of plays some more sticky threats. So if you're interested in playing ASMO plus Urza, I would highly recommend this deck. I think it's really good. If you made it all the way to the end of the video, I know this was a long one. I hope you enjoyed the video. Be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one.